Hello and welcome back to the Financial News and Your Money. My name is Paul Munichel and I'm a financial advisor with Ameriprise Financial. And Ron Jankowski, my normal co-host, is off on vacation this week. So it will be just me today. And today is Monday, July 20th. And I'm going to start out the show by talking about the earnings and what you should expect from them. So earnings have been generally good so far, but that could change as more diverse mix of companies offer their results this week. The Q2 earnings release season picks up this week with 92 of the S&P 500 companies on the docket, including 8 members of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Through Friday, just 48 or 9.5% of the S&P 500's current 505 constituents had reported their results from the pandemic hit period, resulting in very little change in aggregate estimates for the period. According to FactSet, analysts still expect the S&P 500 earnings per share to be down about 44% versus year-ago levels on a 10.7% decline in sales. Earnings per share estimates for Q3, meanwhile, are up 8 cents. This is a very, very small change, of course, but the increase runs contrary to the fact that earnings per share estimates for the current quarter typically decline during any given season. It's still very early in the release season, but so far, corporate sales and earnings have beat analyst expectations by a wider than average spread. According to FactSet, 73% of the companies to have released their results have reported better than expected earnings per share, while 78% have recorded better than expected revenue. The earnings per share beat is only 1 percentage point better than the 5-year average, but considering that the last 5 years had offered generally good operating conditions for most sectors, combined with the high level of uncertainty for the recently completed quarter, the results could be perceived as good news should that pattern continue. Encouragingly, reported sales have exceeded analyst expectations more frequently and by a wider margin. Reported revenues have beaten analyst estimates in 78% of the cases versus a 5-year norm of 60%. Thus far, revenues have also been 3.5% above estimates versus a 5-year average of just a 0.7 increase. Typically, we believe sectors should put more weight on revenue results, especially during volatile periods, as companies tend to use challenging or volatile times to lump up most of the bad news into a single period. So in a nutshell, it looks like earnings are looking a little bit better than expected. Keep in mind this is reporting from the initial COVID period and initial shutdown, so analysts expected earnings to be bad. A lot of companies lowered their forecasts, so things are expected to be bad. Anything better than bad the market may take that as a positive and could continue to rally upward. And with that, we are seeing the markets rebound year to date. Ron typically gives you these numbers, but believe it or not, the S&P 500 through Friday is positive by less than 1%, but it is positive, which is a big turnaround from the lows we created in March. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, that is the major average that is still negative on the year, and through Friday's close, it's still down 5.3% on the year. But in comparison, the NASDAQ, which has a lot of tech growth-oriented companies, year to date, again through Friday, is positive 17.7%. So a lot of unexpected still coming. Earnings is a good sign of what may come, and it may be enough to keep the markets moving forward. We'll just have to wait and see. That's going to conclude the first half of my show. I'll be right back with the Your Money portion of the show, we're going to talk about, because of all this, is it time for a financial review. So stick with us and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is the Your Money portion of our show, and I'm going to give a report on why now may be a time for a financial review. So let's begin. We are experiencing a period of upheaval in the world today as we haven't seen maybe ever, which has also had an impact on the economy and the markets. Given the spike in volatility and uncertainty we're seeing across the broader economy, it may be time to step back carefully and review your financial life. Take some time to look at where you stand, whether it may be appropriate to make any adjustments in your investment strategy. And I've taken down notes on 4 key questions to ask yourself during these critical financial times. Number 1, do you have enough cash on hand to meet short-term needs? A healthy cash reserve is important in times like these. A general rule of thumb is to have enough cash on hand, and that's money that's readily available to you, so like a bank account or a checking account. You want enough cash to potentially meet 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. But given today's economic uncertainties, it may make sense to set even more aside than the 3 to 6, just because there is so much unknown. Question number 2, are you comfortable with the level of risk in your portfolio? Investment markets have been volatile since the start of 2020 and may continue to be for the coming months and potentially year. Unsettled markets can be a real test of whether you are comfortable with your investment strategy or if the level of risk in your portfolio is keeping you up at night. Given the disruption that's been occurring, a portfolio review makes sense at this point in time. Question number 3, do you have a solid protection strategy in place? This is an opportune time to make sure that you and your family are adequately insured. Health insurance is a good place to start, particularly if your work situation has changed in the recent months. The importance of adequate life insurance is more evident in times like these to protect the well-being of your family. Look at other protection options as well, such as disability income, insurance, and potentially long-term care to meet specialized care needs, especially as you grow older. And the last question you should be asking yourself in times like this is your financial plan still on track? So finally, let's take a careful look at your overall financial plan. Are you still on track to achieve the key goals you initially established? Does your plan require adjustments based on circumstances that have changed? And given all the events of the recent months, is this the right time to review your plan and make sure you are still headed in the right direction? I believe it is. I believe now is the time more than ever you need to be talking with your financial advisor and reviewing your account and making sure it's appropriate for you and your needs. And with that being said, if you do not have a financial advisor, or if you're looking for a second opinion to the one you are working with, feel free at any time to give me a call, and you can call me directly. My phone number is 708-226-3412. That's going to conclude this week's show. We're hoping for a positive close to the market on Monday, and then of course we're hoping to have that good earnings reports come in throughout the week and potentially keep the market going in the right direction if you are invested in it. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off, and we will see you back again next week. Have a great day and a great week.